What's up, everybody? This is Backlog Gaming here, and today I have an Elder Scrolls Online video for you. Recently, they are going to be releasing a patch. Now, this is version 2.3.1. This is the first patch of many to come to the game. So from here, I'm going to kind of go over those patch notes and what will be going on. So this is the great thing, is that maintenance is already completed. It happened February 8th, and then we got the patch notes today. So let's go ahead and go through them and kind of discuss them. So this is the first thing. They do have known issues, new features, and updates and big changes. So the new features and the updates and big changes is what I'm going to focus on here first. The 64-bit client for PC. Now, this is now available. So apparently it wasn't available to begin with. They had the 32-bit version of the game will still be continued and maintained if your system does not use 64-bit. But if you use 64-bit, now that is compatible with Elder Scrolls Online, which is awesome. Mac users are going to have OpenGL 4.1 updates and Thieves Guild reputation. We updated the way Thieves Guild's reputation has been calculated for this patch. If you previously had reputation in the Thieves Guild on an existing character, your actual rank may not be accurately reflected within the guild, which could prevent you from ranking up further. And if you create a new character or continue using one that has not yet gained reputation in the Thieves Guild, this will not affect you. Templates of the highest ranking Thieves Guild reputation will be available for the future PTS incremental patch, so you will be able to freely test the new Thieves Guild skill line right away. So that's great news that they're giving that ability for people to go ahead and test that. So known issues, there are some bugs that have already came up that they are working on. You can see those here, the grouping tools, the art and animation, the general. So just keep that in mind, that there is always bugs, there is always hot fixes with patches of this nature in every single MMO, so be aware of that. Fixes and improvements to Imperial City DLC game pack. The monsters tabled the Gatekeep located in Imperial City sewers no longer has the ability to critical hit player characters. And dungeons and group content, White Gold Tower. Apparently they fixed the ability to critically hit player characters in that too. So those appear to be nerfs to those two things. Fixes and improvements to Horizonium DLC game pack. So there's a little bit more here that we're going to have. The Maelstrom Arena, Arena 4, Seats, Flywheel, Scavenger Fire Mages, Scavenger Fire Ravagers, and Scavenger Overcharges. And some other things will no longer be able to critically hit player characters. And in the Veteran Maelstrom Arena, bosses will now be properly affected by minor Slayer bonus damage. So that's a buff, and no bosses in normal Maelstrom Arena are already affected by this bonus. So there's not going to be a buff. It's already been implemented. Exploration and itemization. So there is some achievements that have been added, which is great. Fixed an issue is allowing you to obtain this achievement without actually leaping off the cliff. So now you have to fucking jump. So quests and zones general no longer report crimes while following you during this quest. So apparently that must have been an issue with a complaint or something that was bothering players while they were doing that quest. Fixes and improvements to the Thieves Guild DLC game pack. So art and animation, just in general here, fixed multiple areas where you could become stuck between. So that's great. Fixed an issue that allowed the camera to clip through nearby structures when using some of the crafting stations. So that's just kind of some polishing work. And fixed an issue that was causing the visual effects on some of the maw of Lorkhaj weapons to fail to be displayed when enchanted. Okay? And added a death animation to the recently introduced Heron critter. Figure art, Beast Race NPCs wearing an iron wheel headdress will now have their faces covered as intended. Fix an issue that would cause gaps between the lower and upper leg for special light robe armor. Thieves Guild heavy armor, the face mask of this costume will now conform properly to the faces of the beast of the races. and the shield is no longer clip into your body when it is docked. So again, just minor things that they fixed there. Fixtures fixed several stretch textures in the Thieves' Den, so polishing work there. Audio adjusted timing for numerous voice-over NPCs. Additionally, some lines that were previously silent are now voiced, so more audio was added, which is great. Combat and gameplay updated tooltips for Thieves Guild's passes to improve clarity and provide additional detail. Fixed an issue that was preventing you from reaching rank 12 of the Thieves Guild skill line. You will no longer see the foot pads for timely escape unless you are in combat and also have a bounty. Some monsters here now will the giant mosquito will now correctly drop the loot expected of insects instead of people. So that could be a nerf if people are farming that. Giant mosquito brood mothers no longer spawn in packs of 3s. Juveniles are now smaller than the brood mothers, and juveniles now die in 2 hits when killed before a blood meal. Step adders, these monsters will now follow the slopes of the terrain when they're wandering around instead of treating every surface as a flat panel, so that's just a polishing thing. Step adders will now burrow into the ground, and when they spawn, they display a greater variety of animations. Great. World bosses, Thieves Guild world bosses will now award experience when defeated as originally intended. Thieves Guild world bosses will now scale correctly in response to player participation, so that means they'll become harder the more people that are there. Stormy weather is now darker and less obviously magical when the captain world boss spawns. Traps, deadfall traps now deal damage from the center of the telegraph, so who knows what they were doing before. Dungeons and group content, we had some updates to the Maw of Lorkhaj. Taking aim with the ability now is more prominent to interrupt the telegraph. We also had Bleeding Strike ability will now have the appropriate icon in the Death Recap UI of the Heavy Bleed component. Will no longer immediately use their knockback abilities after the ability impacts the ground. Let's see here. Apparitions that appear on the center of the platform will no longer block the movement. And again, lines during this battle so he doesn't talk over himself or interrupt, because that is rude. That's funny. They put those little nice things in there. Patch notes. The Dark Moon's Jaws, the boat will now be easier to interact during the quest. The boat will now correctly say traveling when you interact with it, and a prompt of talk to Bakhom will now display during this quest. You'll no longer reference the magic teleportation directly to the trial. You must take the boat next to him. That's interesting. So you have some type of leaderboards. You will now correctly be labeled as a veteran instance on the leaderboard, and player characters affected by crippling darkness will no longer display incorrect animations. Exploration and itemization, updated in owned, unowned, and empty status of many objects. Added signs for many buildings. Added guild traders in Abba's Landing. Now have store names also. Added icons to lore books. Great, even more detailed. Fix an issue that was preventing recipes from dropping in Hugh's Bane under certain circumstances. Fixed an issue that was causing cabinets in Hugh's Bane to sometimes fail to grant items when searched, and updated the name and the description of the memento obtained from becoming the master thief from Reign of Coins and Coin of Illusionary Wealth. So, fixed some achievements here. Calling the Covenant fixed an issue where this was unable to be completed. Cutting the Keel fixed this issue that was preventing the achievement from being completed. And the Lady in the Cistern fixed an issue where not all the rumors about the Thieves' Den statue were available, blocking you from completing this achievement. So, 3 achievements that you can complete now. That's great. Collectibles, updated tooltip for text of any costumes acquired in the Thieves Guild questline. Book of Seasons will now appear in Abba's Landing Forever. Hold your peace letters. So these are going to be all type of ledgers and books within the game are now going to display correctly. Itemization, fixed an issue where items in the item sets, Hussein's Veneer, Ebon Armory, and Worm's Raiment from the Maw of Lorcage were bind on pickup. They are now bind on equip as intended. So that's cool. So now you should be able to sell them, I assume. Justice system, many NPCs in Abba's Landing now fight and react to crimes properly. So that's been updated. Quest and zones, multiple quests have been updated. Guild tip and board quest. Even more quests have been added here, and proper rewards were given when you accomplish it. Heist, obviously, were updated. Personal quests were obviously updated. So then there was just some fixes and improvements to the base game patch. So if you come out here, combat and gameplay, you have different things that would happen with the sorcerers and in the world and whatnot. So if you use these, definitely come out here and read them. And then crafting the economy. Again, I don't know a whole lot about the crafting system so far. Crown stores, they added everything that you see here. Whisper Galley costume. And then from there, the Sand-Kissed Salwar Ensemble. So you had stuff added to the Crown store. So if you buy stuff in this game, go ahead and check that out. Dungeons and group content, Dragonstar Arena, the following enemies can no longer critically hit you. So there's the list. Exploration itemization. General loot received from trials will now scale with your level up to the level of the monsters in the trial. So had some scaling issues. Achievements that have been fixed. And item sets that have been fixed. Fixed an issue. So certain issues fixed with different item sets have been completed. Mementos and Justice system has been updated and improved. There's certain different UI that has been moved around. Alliance War, the cooldown timer for forward camps will now display 2 values of the consistent of other timers. So you'll see that, and adjusted various siege weapons tooltips. Crafting was updated. Gamepad mode was fixed. Gameplay removed the option to turn off the Mage Light graphics setting for recent changes made to that ability. And grouping tool has been updated. And scrolling combat text has also fixed an issue where SCT was not appearing high. It was appearing too high when fighting a Lamia. So various bug fixes. I did see further down that they mentioned that we'll be making some balance changes to abilities in the next incremental next week to address some feedback we've seen, and plan on making the forum thread about it the next day, so you're in the loop, guys. So that's why you didn't see any balancing issues in this patch, but you just strictly saw content being added and content being fixed. So if you're looking for the balance information, again, that's next week that they'll be posting that on the official forums. Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And from there, I'll see you guys next time.